Have you ever had a well-meaning comment land like a stone in your stomach? Perhaps it was a parent peering over your shoulder, offering constructive criticism on a passion project that felt more like a verdict on your capability. Or a partner, in an attempt to be helpful, mapping out a step-by-step solution to a problem you merely wanted to vent about, leaving you feeling not supported but incompetent. Maybe it was a friend who, in an act of protection, hid a difficult truth from you, only for you to discover it later, feeling betrayed and infantilized. These moments, woven into the fabric of our most intimate relationships, are perplexing. The intention, we are told, was good. The love, we are assured, is real. Yet the outcome is a quiet ache of misunderstanding, a subtle erosion of trust, a feeling of being profoundly unseen. This is one of the most painful paradoxes of the human experience, how our best intentions can become instruments of our worst hurts. How can acts born from a place of genuine care manifest as control, judgment, and disconnection? The answer, it turns out, has very little to do with malice. It is not a story of villains and victims, but a far more intricate tale of our own unexamined minds. The path to hurting those we love is paved not with deliberate cruelty, but with the complex, often unconscious cobblestones of our own psychological baggage. It lies at the intersection of our need for control, the shadows of our own projected fears and desires, a deep-seated misunderstanding of empathy, and a flawed definition of what it truly means to help. To understand this phenomenon is to embark on a journey into the dark psychology of good intentions and to begin to untangle the knots that bind love so tightly to pain. At the heart of much well-intentioned harm lies a powerful and deeply ingrained cognitive bias known as the righting reflex. The term, borrowed from the world of motivational psychology, describes the almost irresistible urge we feel to fix someone else's problems, to correct their course, and to set them straight. When a loved one comes to us with a struggle, this reflex kicks in automatically. We see their distress as a problem, and our brain, a natural problem-solving machine, immediately begins to generate solutions, strategies, and advice. We believe we are being helpful. We believe we are offering the most valuable thing we have, our wisdom. But this reflex is a profoundly self-centered one. The helpful advice we dispense is often less about the other person's needs and more about our own. It satisfies our desire to be seen as knowledgeable, competent, and useful. In the dynamic, it places us in the position of the expert and the other person in the position of the novice. It is a subtle, often unconscious, assertion of superiority. By rushing to provide answers, we are not truly listening to their experience. We are merely using their story as a prompt for our own performance. We cut short their process of self-discovery and deny them the space to find their own strength. The unspoken message we send is not, "I am here with you in your struggle," but rather, "You are not equipped to handle this, but I am." Consider the classic scenario of a wife returning home from a frustrating day at work. She begins to recount a conflict with a difficult colleague, her voice thick with emotion. She is seeking resonance, a shared feeling of indignation, the comfort of simply being heard. Her husband, listening with good intentions, immediately shifts into strategic mode. "Okay, here's what you need to do," he begins. "First, you schedule a meeting with your boss. Then, you document everything." He believes he is providing a roadmap out of her distress, but what she experiences is a complete dismissal of her feelings. He hasn't validated her frustration or her stress. He has treated it as a tactical error to be corrected. Her desire for connection is met with a lecture on strategy, leaving her feeling more alone than when she started. The righting reflex, cloaked in the guise of care, has transformed an opportunity for intimacy into an accidental lesson in condescension. If the righting reflex is a misguided attempt to steer another person's ship, then our next mechanism, psychological projection, is something far more ghostly and insidious. It is the act of taking our own unacknowledged feelings, insecurities, and, most potently, our unfulfilled ambitions and casting them like a shadow onto someone we love. We see our own fears of inadequacy, our private regrets, and our deep-seated anxieties not in the mirror where they belong, but reflected in the faces of our partners, our friends, and most tragically, our children. It is a profound act of psychological self-deception. The mind, in a desperate bid to protect the ego, performs a clever sleight of hand. Instead of confronting our own inner demons, we locate them in someone else. And then, Under the noble banner of helping, we set out to vanquish them. This creates a peculiar and toxic dynamic where our support is actually a battle against a phantom enemy. The most classic and heartbreaking example is the parent who pushes a child to fulfill a dream the parent themselves abandoned. Consider the father who once yearned to be a professional athlete but settled for a stable office job. Now, he sees a flicker of athletic talent in his son. His good intention is to give his son the opportunities he never had. On the surface, it is an act of supreme generosity. He invests time, money, and boundless energy into the boy's training. He is at every game, shouting encouragement from the sidelines. But look closer, the encouragement is edged with a desperate intensity. The constructive feedback after a loss feels like a personal indictment. The child quickly learns a devastating lesson. His father's love and approval are conditional, tethered directly to his success on the field. The father is not truly seeing his son, he is seeing a second chance, a vessel for his own deferred life. He is trying to heal his own past wounds by curating his son's future. The harm inflicted here is not merely about pressure, it is a fundamental negation of the child's identity. The son is not being nurtured to find his own passion, but is being sculpted to fit the shape of his father's regret. He may even succeed, achieving the very goals his father dreamed of, only to arrive at the summit feeling hollow and disconnected, a successful embodiment of someone else's life. The good intention has become a cage, gilded with love but a cage nonetheless, which has robbed him of the chance to discover who he was truly meant to be. Beyond the deep and tangled roots of projection lies a more common, and perhaps more relatable, pitfall, the tyranny of our own perceived good. This is the harm that arises not from wrestling with our past, but from a fundamental failure of perspective in the present. It is born from a powerful cognitive shortcut known as the egocentric bias of empathy. We naturally assume that other people think, feel, and value the same things we do. Therefore, when we try to help, we offer the kind of help that we would want to receive. We build our good intentions on the faulty foundation that our definition of good is universal. This is a critical misunderstanding of what empathy truly is. We mistake sympathy feeling for someone with empathy, which is the far more difficult art of attempting to feel with them from within their unique context. True empathy requires us to temporarily suspend our own worldview, our own values, our own solutions, and to ask a more profound question: what is it like to be them right now? Without this crucial step, our help becomes a form of benevolent imposition. We are not helping them flourish as they are. We are trying to remake them in our own image. Imagine a person who finds immense joy and confidence through physical fitness. For them, the gym is a sanctuary, a place of empowerment and self-improvement. Their close friend, meanwhile, has long struggled with body image issues and self-esteem, subjects they touch upon with vulnerability. Wishing to help, the fitness enthusiast buys this friend a one-year gym membership for their birthday. The intention is pure gold, forged in their own positive experience. I want you to feel as strong and confident as I do. This is a gift of empowerment, but the impact is devastating. The friend doesn't receive a gift of empowerment, they receive a loud, unspoken confirmation of their deepest fear. The way you are is not acceptable, you need to be fixed. The space between the giver's intention and the receiver's impact is a chasm of misunderstanding. The giver is left confused and hurt, wondering why their generous and thoughtful present was met with a strained smile and a new distance between them. The receiver is left feeling judged and shamed by someone they trusted with their vulnerability. The well-intentioned gift did not communicate, "I love you," but rather, "I love you, and here is how I need you to change." It's a stark reminder that good intentions are not enough. They must be paired with the humble, radical act of seeing the world through another's eyes, recognizing that their path to happiness may look nothing like our own. This journey into the shadows of good intentions leads us to our final and most complex phenomenon, pathological altruism. The term itself seems like a contradiction. How can altruism, the selfless concern for the well-being of others, be pathological? This occurs when the act of helping, while appearing selfless, is fundamentally driven by the helper's own psychological needs, and in satisfying those needs, it inadvertently causes significant harm or prevents the growth of the person being helped. It is not just help that backfires, it is help that is designed, unconsciously, to perpetuate the very problem it claims to solve. At its core, pathological altruism is often rooted in codependency and a deeply buried need to be needed. The helper derives a powerful sense of identity, purpose, and self-worth from being a rescuer. Their role as the savior, the capable one, the martyr, becomes central to their ego. Consequently, they are unconsciously drawn to situations where they can maintain this role. This means they are not actually invested in solving the other person's problem for good, because the solution would render them obsolete. Their help is designed to provide temporary relief, not permanent resolution, thereby ensuring the other person remains dependent on them. Think of the mother who continues to meticulously manage the life of her late teenage son. She does his laundry, cleans his disastrous room, calls to wake him up for class, and makes excuses for him when he fails to meet his responsibilities. Her stated intention is one of pure love. I'm just trying to make his life less stressful so he can succeed. She sees herself as a devoted, selfless parent. But beneath the surface, a different engine is running. Her identity is profoundly wrapped up in being the indispensable mother. The thought of her son becoming fully self-sufficient is, on an unconscious level, terrifying. It threatens her with a loss of purpose. So, her loving help becomes a form of sabotage. By constantly buffering him from the natural consequences of his actions, she prevents him from developing resilience, discipline, and basic life skills. She is not preparing him for adulthood, she is actively preventing it. Each time she rescues him, she gets a comforting hit of validation. He still needs me, while he slides further into a state of learned helplessness. This loving, comfortable prison she has built for him, furnished with the best of intentions, may be the single greatest obstacle to his future happiness and competence. It is the ultimate paradox, where the desire to be a good mother leads to the creation of an incapable man, and the act of selfless love serves a profoundly selfish, albeit unconscious, need.